All right, everyone. Welcome. Episode, boy, I don't know, 22, I think.
1-2.
22. Sorry, we haven't been on in a while, and I didn't really post episode 21, so we're going to post them together. We did week one reactions. That was a long time ago. I haven't even talked on the phone with Kyle in like months because he's too busy and I'm too busy. But here we are. We're
I
ready
did
to
hear
go.
you. Did hear you through a Zoom call with my mom the other day. So that was the closest contact
That's
we've
true.
had talking about
That's our
sports.
poor parents have computer troubles, and even though mom is not qualified, dad is way less qualified to deal with the computer troubles. So, all right. Well, how you been? How you doing?
Pretty good. Ivy update. She was
Dog is
insane.
growing. All right. Well, that's cool. So here's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to do football first. I know a lot of you like football, and then we're going to go a while on baseball, and you can turn it off if you want. We're going to go back over how we did on over-unders for baseball. We're going to talk about the playoffs. And, yeah, Kyle did not do well in over-unders, and I didn't do much better. So, anyhow, let's get that going with some football. Kyle, it's been 4 weeks. Every team's played 4 games. Right now, the Seahawks are playing the Rams. We don't really know what's going to happen in that one. Is there anywhere you want to start with things that you've seen that are interesting to you so far?
Do you want to just go like division by division?
Sure. We're going to start with
AFC
the
East.
AFC East. That division's over.
Yeah, it's done. Buffalo's going to run away with that. Their offense looks awesome. They've scored over 30 in every single game this year.
Well, not against
maybe
the
week
Steelers.
one.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That was an anomaly, it looks like.
And you always just throw out week one. I mean, look at what the Packers looked like versus the Saints, and look what they've looked like since. So that's my notes on this division is Buffalo's offense is good. The rest suck. And the rest of this division is terrible.
It's bad. It's bad. I mean, the Jets are one of the worst teams in football. The Dolphins and the Patriots could still sneak, I think, to 8 or 9 wins. But they just let Gilmore go for next to nothing to a team we're going to talk about a little later because I'm excited about the team he went to. So, yeah, the AFC is kind of boring. Looks like Josh Allen and the Bills got it going. They could have scored seriously 80 points against the Texans last week. I actually watched that game because I was over at my friend Michael Tiger's house, and he's a Texans fan. So we had Red Zone on one TV, that game on the other, and they kicked a whole bunch of field goals when they had short fields, and they let Trubisky play, who also marched right down the field in the Texans. They could have scored 80 points. They're really, really good, and we get to kind of see where we're at on Sunday night because they play the Chiefs, and that'll be fun. So that's the AFC East. If you bet money on the Dolphins, the Pats, or the Jets over,
Oof.
Sorry. Which I tried to bet the Pats over, so glad that Kyle couldn't get my bets in. All right, AFC North. This is Kyle. Fun fact: 3 teams leading the AFC North at 3-1, including the Cincinnati Bengals somehow. Go ahead.
So the Bengals offense, I think, is actually legit. They've moved the ball. Burrows looked great. Their rookie wide receiver is fantastic. Chase, is it?
Ja'Marr Chase.
Yeah, their defense I don't think is good, and I think they're going to come back to earth. I think this is probably a 500 team. This is probably a team that's a year away, especially in this division where Baltimore and Cleveland I think are definitely better. But they are definitely better than the Steelers. That being said, what Harbaugh has done with Baltimore with how many injuries that they have incurred is just insane. And Cleveland, if they had a quarterback that could throw with any accuracy at all, would be by far the best team in this division. I think their defense is awesome.
Awesome. What a weird game last week. Vikings go right down the field and score on the Browns 7-0, and the Vikings do not score again or really even come that close. Browns win 14-7. Really sloppy game for both teams' offenses. But yes, the Browns are the best team in the division. It just may be that the quarterback holds them back. Because Mayfield throws some of those throws where it's like, bro, just a little touch on that thing. Like, seriously. And Kyle knows the sight of a bad ball because Kyle can't throw a football with crap. And Mayfield's throwing some bad passes out there, and he's got talented guys. So I don't know. The running backs are great, though, and that saves him. And really, they could just throw swing passes and check downs and hand the ball off, and they'd probably be fine with that defense. So I stand by my Browns bet at the beginning of the year to win the division. Lamar has been a little bit all over the place, but that's pretty normal, I guess. What did you think of the Ravens? Did you hear about them extending their streak of 100-yard rushing games by not kneeling the ball down last week?
Okay, but the other team was also throwing to the end zone with time running out, down 2 scores. So I don't care about that in the least.
Oh, I don't either. I just wanted to know what you thought of it.
I mean, probably dumb if you're the Ravens because you don't want to get Lamar hurt because he's actually been awesome this year. I mean, he's been a little up and down, but his stats are incredible. And
Just throwing the ball. It's always the issue. He's up and down that way.
I'd still take him over
Big Ben, speaking of quarterbacks in the division.
Well, or the wonderful Titans. I'd sure take him on the Titans, that's for sure.
Big Ben is toast, everybody. If you don't follow football real closely, it's over.
And taking a running back in the first round trying to fix your offensive line doesn't really work, as it turns out.
No. Najee Harris is awesome, though, by the way. And poor guy. Bet you wishes any other team took him besides the Steelers.
Didn't he catch 13 balls last week?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Yep.
2 weeks ago.
And that's their whole offense, basically. All right, let's go talk about our crappy division where both of our teams are in, the AFC South.
I have one bullet point.
The Titans lost to the Jets last week.
They all suck. This division is terrible.
Horrible.
And it's probably going to be won by a team with a losing record.
Well,
and it probably is going to be the Colts.
Listen, let's break these teams down. The Jags have all kinds of crap happening with them. I mean, Urban Meyer.
Meyer.
Boy. I'm not even going to dig real far into that because he's already way down in a hole somewhere.
He looked like he was digging in holes.
Yeah. So just holy. We're going to be done with that one. The Texans, Davis Mills is really bad. And if they don't get Tyrod back soon, they're not very good to begin with, but at least Tyrod, they can move the ball. Not with Davis Mills. He was throwing it right to the Bills. The Colts, don't get fooled by this last one against the Dolphins. The Colts are not good. They're a terrible football team.
They are equally as not good as the Titans, though. And that's all it's going to take is to be equally not good to win this division.
Well, I was laughing with my friend Michael Tiger again last week about the fact that when the Titans missed that field goal, both our teams, the Texans and the Colts, were only a game back in the division after being just a dumpster fire all season. So,
and also, what a brutal ending to that game. You get a false start or a delay. It was a delay game, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Delay game to move you back 5. And if you have those 5 yards, you probably make that
field goal.
Or you probably just get a first down.
It's that was an awful game too, because we had that one on for a little bit because it was on bonus coverage. Whoa, boy.
I mean, the entire first slate of games last week there was not a single good matchup. And the fact that I had to watch a lot of Titans-Jets was it was brutal.
That's tough. Red Zone is a game changer, by the way. First time I sat through a whole session of 1:00 games watching Red Zone, and it is the best. So
it's like you just drank an entire pot of coffee to yourself and then are just like sitting in a caffeine bath.
It's just NFL cocaine for like 3.5 hours. It's awesome.
That's what I was getting at indirectly.
Yeah. Well, right. Both of us big cocaine addicts. So yeah, this podcast, that's what it runs on. All right. Let's get to the most interesting division because I got lots of thoughts here. The AFC West. You know who's in last place?
Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs.
You know who will not finish in last place?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs.
I think the Raiders and the Broncos might be fool's gold. The Raiders do this crap to us all the time. It's like, oh, that team looks great. Oh, yeah, but they're really poorly coached. So eventually they're not going to be great. And
they do this. They do this every year. I mean, they start out really hot and they end up 500. And I really like Derek Carr.
Not David Carr. He's no. Derek Carr.
I liked them both, but he's, from all accounts, is a great guy, beloved in the locker room, and actually, I think he's a pretty good quarterback. But the rest of that team's pretty mediocre.
That's correct.
And then Denver. I mean, if Drew Lock's your quarterback, I'm sorry.
Oh, you locked out, not being very good. No, Drew Lock is terrible. That's the truth. So
I'm not going to steal your Chargers thunder, so go with that.
Okay, listen. It's not even really Chargers thunder. It's Justin Herbert. That guy, he is awesome. First of all, he has a cannon. Like if you sat him next to Kyle and they both threw a football, you would think Kyle belonged in like a mental institution. Justin Herbert throws the ball so hard, and he's got a beautiful ball. He just fires them in there. And even the game they lost, they absolutely should have won and should have beaten the Cowboys. And that was only a poor-ish game he's played, and the refs took 2 touchdowns off the board on crap penalties against the Cowboys. He outdueled Mahomes in Arrowhead. It doesn't matter. He was incredible in that game. And he's the next guy. And I'm really glad that I have a bunch of his nice rookie cards sitting in my closet because he's great. So I wanted to make that point because the rookie quarterbacks have largely been terrible. And Herbert came in without really an off season last year because of COVID and just came out and immediately was great. And that's what made me think he was going to be great again this year. And he has not taken a step back at all. That offense is humming. He's got good weapons. And if you're Mike Williams, you just got to be thrilled. Keenan Allen takes the best corner, and you just get to run around and catch lasers from Justin Herbert. So I think they're for real. I think they can win the division because I think the Chiefs are looking at more like 12-5 or 11-6 instead of
the defense is really bad.
Really bad. I don't know. I'm really excited about the Chargers. If they keep that defense healthy and Herbert slings it, who's going to beat them? Not the Broncos and the Raiders. I'll tell you that.
Well, here's the other thing, too, that seems to be different about them this year is what have you expected every single time that the Chargers game is about to end for the last 5 to 9 years?
The coach to throw up on himself and the kicker to miss.
And Phillip Rivers to be driving down somehow 9 points or 8 points with 2 minutes to go. And they've been the opposite of that this year. They've won close games. They've gone for it on 4th down. They've actually gotten it. So if that trend actually continues, I do think they win this division.
Their kicker still sucks, by the way, and that could get them. That's why they went for it on 4th and 9 against the Chiefs when they were clearly in field goal range. So that's a dicey one. But and then listen, I know Mahomes has been a little uneven, but watching Mahomes is like a gift every week.
But if you look at his stats, he's way outpacing his MVP season stats right now.
Yeah, he's just throwing some sloppy picks and stuff.
Yeah,
that's the issue. But yeah, he's got to be great because their defense made the Eagles look good this week, and the Eagles shouldn't look good against anyone. They're not good. So, yeah, that division I think might be the most entertaining in football because even the teams that might not be great are 3-1, and so you've got all kinds of things going on there. Which is exciting. And I hope Bridgewater practiced today. I hope he's back because I'd be happy for him to get to take a pretty good team somewhere. All right, let's go to the NFC. We have the NFC East, who everybody thought was a terrible division, but guess what? There's a good team in that division. It's the Cowboys.
It makes me so sad. But their defense actually looks good, or at least moderately fixed. In their offense, we knew it was going to be terrifying. Everyone thought CeeDee Lamb was going to be awesome, and he has been.
He is.
So.
And Dak
and they have
flinging it around.
Had 2 good running backs.
Yeah.
Pollard's
really
probably
good.
The better of the 2.
Yeah. And Schultz, their tight end, who he might not be any good, but their outside weapons are so devastating that he is just eating in the middle of the field. I mean, there's a couple plays on Sunday where he literally just ran down the seam like he was playing against Pop Warner kids. Like there's no one there. And if that's if he gets to be the recipient of the fact that Cooper and Lamb are unguardable and Michael Gallup's hurt, he's coming back too. It's too much. They have too much for a defense to deal with.
It's like he's running that 4 verticals play in Madden where you just send Gronk across the middle and he would be open every single time.
Yeah.
He's doing that.
Or DeBomb on NFL Blitz.
The rest of this division, though, ugh.
It's really bad.
I'll let you talk about Heineke because I know you're higher on him than I am, but the Eagles are terrible, and the Giants are also terrible.
They're terrible?
Terrible.
No, the Giants and the Eagles, cross them out. Just get them out. They're not good. Daniel Jones, turnover machine. He puts up some nice numbers sometimes, but you can't count on him. The Eagles, it was discussed on the podcast we both listened to. It's a gimmick offense. Hurts isn't a real NFL quarterback, and they're not going to move the ball against good teams. And I do love Taylor Heineke. He went toe-to-toe with Tom Brady in the playoffs last year. That's something. He throws some dumb passes, as we've discussed, but he is no wimp, and he can scramble and move. He's fun to watch, and I like the Washington football team. Not as a good team. They're not. But they're really entertaining. Their defense isn't nearly as good as everybody thought it was, so they're having to win shootouts. which is entertaining because Heineke is not scared of anything, even if he maybe should be sometimes. So I like watching them. I like Gibson. McLaurin is awesome. And they're fun. They're fun, but they're not good. So it's the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys lose that division. They deserve
It's a disaster.
it. Yeah, they should be relegated. So,
Mm-hmm.
All right. NFC North.
It's really just
really
the Packers.
Boring division.
It is.
Justin Fields.
I think it's over already. Fields looked a lot better last week, but still, that team's terrible, especially losing your running back now. Minnesota's going to score, but that's about all.
Are they? They put up a big 7 last week.
That's true. And Detroit is just going to do nothing at all, it seems, except garbage time touchdowns.
I mean, we're going back a week now, but that Ravens loss by the Lions is one of the worst losses of the last many years. You give up a 4th and 19 to a boinked 67-yard field goal.
Well, to a quarterback that can't pass, and then that's one of the most incredible field goals I've ever seen. Well, it is the most
awesome.
Incredible field goal I've ever seen in my life.
I was on the phone with you when that field goal went in, and I saw it on the app that it was a 67-yard field goal, and I said, hold on, watch it, and tell me that this actually happened. It's unbelievable. Justin Tucker. We throw around GOAT all the time. He is the GOAT kicker, and it's probably not that close. So that's pretty cool. The Bears, it was nice to see Fields sling it a little bit, but he completed 11 passes last week. Like that team's going nowhere. Sorry, Alex. We love you, but no way. And Rodgers has settled in. The Packers are going to win 11 games and win the division by 4 games, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's boring.
That's about all I got, too.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. The NFC South is actually really an interesting division. The Panthers might be decent.
Boy, I might have to eat some words on Darnold because I was pretty hard on him with our wonderful preview. That being said, I still don't think he can pass, but he might win the rushing touchdown title at this rate.
Yeah,
it's just insane.
I get so mad though because we had last week we both had Chuba Hubbard on one of our teams and DJ Moore on another one, and Sam Darnold's just running it in,
every single time.
But no, he's been competent. He has not been great, but DJ Moore is like a real weapon at this point. Mm-hmm. And if they can get McCaffrey back, which it looks like he's going to play this week, they're for real. And when I say for real, they can win 9 or 10 games. I think the Bucs are going to win the division probably, although they can't defend anybody either right now, which is really weird.
They look kind of old and kind of slow.
Very beat up.
Gronk was like crushed. He broke 4 ribs?
Yeah, it's not good. He's not going to be back for a while. And they've lost most of their defensive backfield. So it will be interesting. I'll look at their schedule real quick because it's interesting to me. They go at the Eagles. They had home for Dolphins, at Eagles, home for Bears, at Saints. Never mind. They're going to be fine. Yep. That's 4 wins. They'll be fine. So they're going to be 7-1, and the Panthers will probably be 5-3 or something. And then they play each other twice later in the year. Panthers have home Eagles, home Vikings, at Giants, at Falcons. You know what? They might both be 7-1.
Mm-hmm. That's a really easy schedule. Do you think New Orleans is going to open it up at all for Winston?
Go ahead. Their schedule is horrible. Listen to this. So they started with home Jets, home Saints, at Texans, at Cowboys, which is a hard game, obviously, and they lost. Mm-hmm. Home Eagles, home Vikings, at Giants, at Falcons, home Patriots, at Cardinals, hard game. Home Washington football team, at Dolphins, home Falcons, and then it gets dicey. At Bills, home Bucks, at Saints, at Bucks. But they could really be, they could legit be like 9-4, 10-3 before those 4 games. Mm-hmm. And then they would have a chance probably to control their own destiny to win the division by playing the Bucks twice, week 16, week 18. That's so weird to say. So anyhow, yeah, Saints, you were making a point about Jameis. Do you think they just don't feel like they have the weapons to open it up with him, and they know what it looks like when you open it up with him, which is like Christmas for the other team?
Picks and picks and picks. I guess, but maybe once you get Michael Thomas back and you have a little more faith in Callaway, but at this point, you got to do more.
Yeah.
It's like, go ahead.
No, I forget who it was. Some random running back had more catches than Alvin Kamara, and it was troubling. Like, I don't know why they're not getting him the ball more. So
It doesn't make any sense to me. If you're going to throw all short passes, why are you not throwing screens? And also, though, and I'm not a big Taysom Hill guy, but the truck stick that he put on a couple runs last week, especially that touchdown, he broke 4 to 5 tackles, just insane.
Phenomenal. And Callaway did have an awesome touchdown last week too. So I mean, they seem to have some guys, but yeah, I mean, they're 2-2. They took apart the Packers week 1, which now looks like a complete like nonsense game that means nothing, because the Saints are 1-2 since then and haven't played well, and the Packers are 3-0 and have beaten a couple of decent teams. So who knows? What I do know, Falcons are no good, and I picked them for the over, and that's probably already done. So super job, Falcons. Kyle Pitts, who I thought was going to light the world on fire, pretty boring. And I yelled at Kyle about drafting him in every fantasy league. We didn't take him in any, and so far that's probably been for the best. All right, the other most interesting division in football also happens to be the West, just in the NFC this time. Only undefeated team?
Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals, and the Kyler Murray running around like a hamster experiment. He like floats along the ground. It's unbelievable.
It's insane. It's like he glides. Like, remember that vibrating football game with the magnets? That's what he looks like.
Stratomatic?
Yeah.
Yeah, except faster. That thing, that's terrible.
Here's the thing, though. They haven't exactly played a terribly difficult schedule. So
no, but they did take apart the Rams last week, which matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Titans, Vikings, Jags.
Not good. So prove it a couple more weeks. This division's still going to be a bloodbath. I still like the Rams to win it. And I think San Francisco is probably the worst team in this division, although we'll kind of know a little bit more after tonight. Any idea what the score is of that game?
I'll look, but their next 5 will know a lot. Home Niners, at Browns, at Texans, home Packers, at Niners. It's a pretty good stretch of like, hey, what do you got for me? You know? I think everybody until last week thought the Rams might be the best team in football, and then they got taken apart and are not playing well tonight either. 7-3 at halftime, Seattle, which is great because I got Stafford on a fantasy team and Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett on 2 fantasy teams. So that's
sweet.
Great. So anyhow, yeah, I like that division. I think you can find 3 playoff teams for sure from the division, but it's hard to know who they'll be right now. Or they'll beat each other up so much that it won't happen. But the thing in the NFC, it's hard to find playoff teams. Like, is it going to be Washington? Probably not. Is it going to be Chicago or Minnesota? Probably not.
I think it could be Carolina.
It could be Carolina. It could be New Orleans, I guess. I mean, you got to get 7 teams.
Yeah.
Where do they come from? And so it probably has to come from the West. Probably the Rams, the Cardinals, and whoever separates from Seattle and San Francisco. That would be my guess. And then that means maybe Carolina is the other one. And I guess you still need one more. So maybe, I don't know. But all right. Anything else on the NFL so far that has you wanted to quiz me on some stuff.
Ready to go quickly?
Yeah, quick.
All right. Top 5 passing yards.
Oh my gosh. That's I'm gonna say Kyler Murray's in there.
3.
I'm gonna say Stafford's in there.
4.
I'm gonna say Mahomes is in there.
5.
Prescott.
Nope.
Brady.
2.
And number one. I'm just looking through the teams right now. I don't know. Justin Herbert.
Nope.
Carr. It's Carr.
Yep.
Yeah,
Carr, number 1.
That one. Should have known.
Passing TDs. Top 3.
Oh my gosh. Brady's in there.
Brady's 4.
Carr.
Nope.
Stafford.
Stafford's 2.
Luke. What's his name? Zach Wilson. It was a joke. Josh Allen.
Nope.
Dak.
This is great quality. Great content. Dak is 3. Mahomes is number 1. Mahomes has got 14 passing TDs and 4 picks.
Yeah, like 6 of them are like shuffle pass. Those like
Correct. The little baseball ones.
Yeah,
You gotta like
yeah,
those, though.
I do. I really do, actually.
All
Rushing
right, rushing
TDs.
yards,
Oh,
rushing
rushing
TDs.
yards.
You got yards and then TDs, and we'll do receiving.
Derrick Henry is first.
Henry's
I
number
believe.
1. Yep, 510 yards. He is blowing everyone out of the water.
Yeah, he always does. Montgomery.
Nope. He's 5.
Zeke Elliott.
4.
Gosh, it's kind of hard.
2 NFC guys, both in orange.
Chubb
is 2.
Orange. Joe Mixon?
Joe Mixon is number 3.
I did not even know he was having a good year. He's hurt, though.
Yeah, rushing touchdowns.
Well, it's Darnold.
Yeah.
Zeke, number 1, right?
Yeah, he's number 1.
Zeke?
Then you've got Zeke, and then 2 others tied for number 2.
I don't know. We got to move on.
Derrick Henry, James Conner.
Oh, yeah, they gave him the ball at the goal line. They scored a ton of points. Chase Edmonds, fantasy owners, want to fight, but what can you do?
We've got Devontae Adams leading receiving, DJ Morris number 2, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill.
DJ Moore is awesome. I'm telling you, that guy is fast. I think they put that single-digit number on him, and it made him faster. That's my opinion.
And then touchdowns, you got Kupp, and then Williams, Thielen, and Cordell Patterson.
He scored 3 against us in fantasy last week. I about broke every electronic device I had.
Super cool.
We had a moment there. The worst. We were going against a guy who hadn't won yet, and we really needed to win. And in like a 10-minute span, Cordell Patterson and Dawson Knox scored 5 touchdowns against us. And I was like, well, that's it.
Brutal.
See you later.
Yes, Dawson Knox has 4 on the year as well, so he's tied with Krat.
Yeah, 2, again, they got 5 last week combined against us. It's ridiculous. All right, we're moving on.
Yep.
Kyle, you got animal facts today?
I do. I have crow facts for the next 13 weeks of podcasts.
Oh, my gosh.
So the first one is we've talked about crows using tools, and a lot of animals will use tools, but the thing that's unique about crows is that they actually create the tools and then they use them. So there are 2 different kinds of crows that have been documented creating tools. The first is the New Caledonian crows. They make spears and hooks. And then the Hawaiian Alala crows, they make spears that they actually use to fish, which is incredible.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they sharpen sticks and then they stab them into the water. I mean, they're not throwing them. If I saw a crow winging this spear into the water, it would truly be incredible. But this is passed down from generation to generation. So there's not actually any more New Cali crows currently, but that's where they think it originated. And there's 2 that they're breeding in captivity, and they're trying to kind of learn how they pass this down. So I thought that was kind of unique.
Very interesting. I love the crow facts. It's the greatest part of my week every week, honestly. So, all right. Well, we're moving to baseball. So if that means you need to turn this off, turn it off. But otherwise, stay with us. Come on. It's the best. If you don't like baseball, we don't know what to tell you. So playoffs started officially today after the 2 wild card games. The one last night between the Dodgers and the Cardinals was awesome. Chris Taylor walk-off home run. The Red Sox pounded Garrett Cole again and moved on so that they can take their beating from the Rays. So I have right here, I re-listened to our first couple of podcasts, how we did on over-unders. Kyle, are you ready for this? We're very ready.
Did not go well.
Our picks for MVP and stuff like that, which also didn't go super well. So in the American League, we're going to start with the good news. I picked 11 of the 15 teams correct, which I'm pretty proud of because it's the league I pay the most attention to. Kyle picked 8 out of 15 correct, which is still above 50%. You bet with Kyle, you still made a few pennies. Some of the notable ones, we both picked the Red Sox under at 79.5. They won 92 games. Not great. Kyle, one of Kyle's locks was a White Sox over. It was very close, but they made it. So Kyle gets that one. One of my locks was the Indians under. It's 81.5. They won 80. They'll be the Guardians next year. One of my locks was the Angels over 83.5. They won 77. So that was disappointing.
I told you on that one.
One of my locks was Minnesota under 89.5. They won 73. Kyle picked the over.
It was a bit of a homer pick.
Yeah. One of Kyle's locks was the Yankees over 95.5. They won 92. So, close.
And I'm very happy to be wrong about that. It's literally a slow pitch softball team, and I hate them. And I'm so glad that they lost.
Yeah, we're in agreement on that. Sorry, Sean. Tampa Bay, you had a half lock on the under. I had a lock on the over. The over under, I believe, was 84. They won 100.
100 games. Yeah.
So I'm pretty proud of that lock. I also at plus 420 wagered on them to win the AL East, which they did easily. Kyle's other lock in the American League was the Texas Rangers under 67.5. They won 60. So we did all right on our locks, I would say. We'll get to some of our misdiagnosis in the National League, it was hilarious to listen to that podcast back because
it's legendary.
It's pretty bad. MVP, Kyle's long shot pick was Tim Anderson, plus 3,500. Spent most of the year hurt. Did hit well when he was healthy, and his other pick was Yordan Alvarez, who also was beat up some.
I feel like I mentioned Marcus Semien as well.
You didn't. I listened to it.
I'm taking credit for it. Okay, I mentioned it in my head.
We mentioned it with.
It's in my notes. I looked through my notes.
We mentioned it with Toronto about how we thought he could have a bounce back here. We actually nailed Toronto about what they were going to be like. A couple of teams where our analysis was actually really, really good. We did pick Seattle over, which went way over. We both got that right. And
90 games.
Yeah, which is pretty amazing. And of course, the Angels always my blind spot. I was wrong.
And the most amazing part about Seattle winning 90 games is that they finished minus 51 for the year.
Yeah,
run differential wise.
Amazing. We both picked the Orioles under 63.5 and kind of cringed when we did it, but they won 52 games.
52 games, yeah.
So I mentioned Rafael Devers as my MVP choice in American League for best odds. He was plus 4,000. He's not going to win the MVP. That's going to be Shohei Ohtani. But he had a really nice year, so I feel okay about that one. Cy Young, Kyle mentioned two guys, one of which I made fun of him and will do again. Shane Bieber, who spent a lot of the year hurt also and had regressed a little bit, which I mentioned I thought would happen. And then Kyle picked James Montalion to plus 5,000, which is actually a great long shot bet. But at one point this season, his ERA was over 5. He finished.
It finished at like 4.4.
He finished strong down the stretch and actually threw a great game Sunday when they really needed him to against the Rays. But my pick was Garrett Cole at plus 330, and that is likely to hit. So I'll take that one. It was going to be Robbie Ray probably, and then he got shelled by the Yankees. Rookie of the year.
So did Cole. So I'd still take Robbie Ray.
Good for you. I'll take my plus 330 and run. We don't know what's going to happen there yet. Rookie of the year, Kyle gave us Arozarena and Wander Franco, and honestly, it's going to be one of those two guys. So good job, Kyle. Arozarena plus 350, Wander Franco plus 200, 1,200. I gave you Franco and Bobby Dahlbeck, and Bobby Dahlbeck actually in the second half was unbelievable. He can't field a lick. He strikes out a ton. He's really probably a AAA hitter, honestly, ultimately. But he had a nice run. And Wander Franco already had an RBI double and scored a run tonight in the playoffs.
There we go.
That guy's freaking awesome. He's up to almost 300 now on the season. So that's the American League. I felt really good. 11 out of 15. I should have just bet them all. I would have made a bunch of money. But there's the National League.
All of that money would have just been thrown away.
So we both went 6 for 15 with the National League team. We went right off the bat with the Milwaukee Brewers as the first team we did. We both said, what a terrible pitching staff. Actually, the pitching staff was freaking incredible. Kyle gave it a half lock under 83.5. I didn't say any kind of lock. They won 95 games.
95, yep.
Next, we went on to the Cubs. We were both very confident on the over. Kyle called it a lock. They won 78.5. They won 71. Now,
71.
We both did mention about the possibility of a midseason fire sale, which happened.
Yep.
They would have probably gone over if they had kept all their guys. Pittsburgh narrowly sneaked over 58.5 with 61 wins. So Kyle went over and was right, and I was under wrong. I took Atlanta as my super duper lock over 91.5. They won 88 games. I did bet on them to win the division, so I made money, but they did not go over. And if my friend Ronald Acuna had stayed healthy, I think they would have.
Well, and it took them replacing their entire outfield with 4 new outfielders at the All-Star break to even get over 500.
our luckiest one of the year. We could have gone 5 for 15 easily. We picked the Phillies over 81.5. Both of us.
82.
They won 82 games. Good job, Vegas. You nailed it. My next lock was the Arizona Diamondbacks under 74.5. They won 52 baseball games. So I feel very good about that. Kyle took the over, if you were wondering. Kyle was right. I was wrong on Cincinnati. We were both wrong about Colorado. We took under 63.5. I'm still not really sure how they won 74 games in that division with that team, but they did. We both
And
took
why they kept Trevor Story?
Oh, just devastatingly stupid. Both of us took the Dodgers over as a lock. Their team was hurt all year. Trevor Bauer got suspended and still hasn't come back, and they still won 106 games and went over. So good job by us on that. We were both wrong on Miami. We were both wrong on the Padres at 94.5. They were way under that.
79.
Remarkable.
It's just ridiculous.
Kyle took under on the Cardinals, which was looking good, and then all of a sudden they won 17 in a row. I took over. So I won that one. We both took under on the Mets. We were on that one, and they finished way under 91.
77.
We both mentioned that they were going to have a good offense, which was really wrong. And Kyle mentioned that Francisco Lindor was overrated, and
taking the W.
A victory lap on that so far, for sure. The Nats. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The last two teams, I want to spend a minute on this, are the Nationals and the Giants. We literally, piece by piece, nailed the Nationals. If you went back and listened to that, we hit everything that happened in their season. We talked about someone on their team could win the MVP, and it could be Trey Turner. Trey Turner's going to finish in the top 5 in MVP. So is Juan Soto. He just happens to be on a different team by now. But Strasburg never stays healthy. Their offense isn't very good. The rest of their rotation isn't very good. They don't have enough talent. They're not even close to an 84-win team. And guess what? They weren't. It wasn't even close. They ended up winning
65
games, 19 under. However, the next words out of our mouth were immense disparagement at the San Francisco Giants roster. And I mentioned that I thought instead of winning 74.5, they would win 64. The Giants won 107 games. They went 32.5 over their over-under. I still don't know how it happened. It doesn't make any sense to me. And for their gift of having the best record in baseball, you know what they get?
The Dodgers.
The Los Angeles 106-win Dodgers.
And here's another thing. I'm still sticking by that pick. Can name a single player in that entire roster that would start on the Dodgers. Maybe Buster Posey. And even then.
But he's only been on the team for half the year.
Yeah, I mean.
Brandon Crawford.
But where are you going to play him? You're going to play him over Seager?
Second base, I guess. I play him at second base. No, I wouldn't, because that's Seager and Turner. Never mind. No, I don't know. Buster
even
Posey.
pitchers.
Buster
pitchers.
Posey. Gossman, I'd put him in the rotation, I guess. Like after Urias, he'd be like their fourth starter.
I mean, do they even have bullpen arms?
They're like Logan Webb and stuff has been good, but I mean, if you Trevor Bauer and Kershaw, if they're both on the team, Gossman might be the sixth starter.
Yeah.
And they won 107 games.
I don't understand it.
None of it makes a lick of sense. But you can't stand by missing the over-under by 32.5 games. Sorry, you can't.
I'm standing by my analysis.
Okay. Well, your analysis is
it's still wrong, but it's next year it will be
all
right.
Well, I'm going to pull one of those. I'm standing by it. I picked Acuna to win the MVP, and had he not gotten hurt, he was going to win the MVP. So that's disappointing. The other guy I mentioned as a long shot was Trey Turner, who for a while looked like was going to win the MVP and then did not. You picked 3 guys, none of which even sniffed the MVP. Christian Yelich.
Oof.
Marcell Ozuna.
Even more oof.
Yeah, because of off the field and other stuff. And Trevor Story, who you said is going to get a hit on someone else's team, except they didn't get rid of him. So he never had a chance, and he had a bad year.
Yeah.
However, you're going to redeem yourself here. Cy Young, you picked. long shot Marcus Stroman, who had a really nice year, plus 5,500. And Walker Buehler at plus 1,000, who's probably going to finish third in the Cy Young. So good job. I picked Clayton Kershaw. He's still hurt, plus 2,500. Our Rookie of the Year choices were bad. You said you gave us 3, none of which have a chance. Sixto Sanchez, Ian Anderson, Dylan Carlson. And I picked Brian Hayes and Ian Anderson. And it's going to be Jonathan India, who we did not mention one time.
Nor had I heard of until several months ago.
Do you know what team he plays for?
He's on the Reds. He's your second baseman. Come on.
Okay, good job. Good job. All right. Well, that was fun. I really loved listening to those podcasts and being like, great point, followed by,
not so great.
Oh, Lord, that's bad. So it is what it is. We'll go over next week when we do our baseball segment. We'll go over, at the start of this podcast, we chose who we thought would be the best player at each position in each league. And we'll see how we did on those. Spoiler alert, it's not awesome. I don't think Vlad Jr. was mentioned in any podcast. And if it were not for Ohtani, he would be your AL MVP by far. So there's that. All right, playoffs. You want to talk about anything playoffs-wise before we move on to our family fiasco for the week?
Do you want to do picks so we've got something to go back on?
Yeah, let's do a bracket. We're going to act like we don't know what already happened today, even though we do. So start with the game that's already happened today. White Sox Astros. What are you picking?
I'm taking the Astros. White Sox team is really good, but also doesn't really have a lot of playoff experience. And I hate the Astros, which means that they're going to go far in the playoffs. This happens every year.
Okay. And they will play the winner of the Rays and the Red Sox?
I'm going Rays. This Red Sox team is really flawed. Their bullpen is horrendous. I don't trust their starting pitching. I love their offense, but they've got too many holes, I think.
Okay.
And you could also make an argument that their best offensive players shouldn't be in their starting lineup defensively.
Fair.
You can't play him and Schwarber at the same time. JD Martinez is who I'm speaking of.
He's not their best offensive player.
Well,
point as well.
But yeah, you know what I mean. One of their best offensive players, which is rough.
All right, Braves and Brewers. Interesting series.
I honestly have no idea.
Shocking.
I wrote
the National League.
I wrote the Brewers down, but I'm going to go Braves because I don't trust the Brewers offense at all.
All right, Brewers and Dodgers Giants.
Yeah, I'm taking the Braves.
Oh, sorry.
I wrote the Brewers down, and I'm
I also wrote the Brewers down. All right, Dodgers Giants.
Dodgers.
Okay. Astros Rays.
Astros.
Ugh.
I hate it, but I'm hoping if I pick it, I jinx it.
Yeah, there you go. Braves Dodgers. I don't know if you can say that you're jinxing it. Then it might jinx.
I'm going Dodgers, and I'm going Dodgers to win it all.
All right.
This is the best team I've ever seen in my life, and their MVP candidate has hit like 108.
Yeah, and Betts has not done anything, and they won 106 games. And Muncy's hurt now.
It doesn't even matter.
The next guy in. It's like, oh, here we actually took a top 5 Cy Young and top 5 MVP from a different team just for fun. So this is Scherzer and Turner, just plug them right in.
Ridiculous.
All right. Well,
Trey Turner would be the leading home run guy on the Giants right now.
He'd also be their best player by far.
By far.
All right. I'm actually going to throw a curveball at you here. I'm still taking the White Sox.
Okay.
I think they're significantly more talented than the Astros, but they are down 1-0, and their best pitcher got shelled today. So there's that. But they still have Rodon and Giolito. So we'll see. I think the Rays sweep the Red Sox, actually. And I'm glad you picked the Braves because I think the Brewers are actually going to dispatch of them pretty quickly, too. I hope not. I like the Braves. And then the Dodgers. The poor Giants. And that leads me to my rematch of last year's World Series. Rays and the Dodgers. Dodgers in 5. I'd be interested to see what the FanDuel odds are right now on the Dodgers winning the World Series because I should have some money in my account based on my divisions. winning bets that I'd like to just lump onto the Dodgers. I think they're like, I mean, let's look at this roster, okay? Let's just look at this real quick.
It's just insane.
It's not right. It's not fair. The guys that they have out that won't play in this series would be like the 3 best guys on our favorite teams, okay? It stinks. So, sorry, I'm pulling it up here, and it's taking me a while because I'm very tired, and my phone won't work right.
Also, I was looking at the Rays stats today because I hadn't really followed them this year, and their lineup is terrifying. Brandon Lowe hit 39 home runs this year. Zunino hit 33. Then you've got Meadows or Rosarina both over 20, and then Nelson Cruz, between the 2 teams that he played on, had a great year.
And Wander Franco.
And then you still got Wander Franco. You got Yandy Diaz.
No,
This team is really good. Now their pitching is not great.
No,
it's not great.
It's weird. The Red Sox haven't scored off them yet tonight. All right, listen to this. They have, just for fun, Danny Duffy's on their team, but he's hurt. And then they have Cole Hamels. Did you know Cole Hamels is on their team?
David Price?
He's hurt. They have David Price. Clayton Kershaw's on their team. He's hurt. Then they have Dustin May. I don't know if you know this. He's out for the year. He's hurt. They also have Max Scherzer and Urias and Walker Buehler. They have Trevor Bauer, who's been on administrative leave for months because he's a terrible person. Those are their pitchers.
They have 3 rotations.
Yeah. They have Will Smith, one of the best young catchers, and Austin Barnes just for fun if they need to replace him. On the infield, they have the greatest hitter of our generation, just a pinch hit, Albert Pujols. They have Gavin Lux. They have Corey Seager. They have Justin Turner. You might think to yourself, well, that's a pretty nice infield. Oh, they also have maybe the best shortstop in baseball, Trey Turner. But you may think to yourself, but they also have Corey Seager. Yeah, you're right. They have 2 of the best shortstops in baseball. They just play 1 at second base. Unreal. In the outfield, they have the guy who hit the walk-off home run, Chris Taylor, who doesn't play that much. They have A.J. Pollock, who's had monster years in other places. Doesn't play that much. Oh, and then they have Mookie Betts and Cody Bellinger, 2 perennial MVP candidates. And Matt Beatty, who they can move around. And McKinstry, who actually was great when he played this year for them. And Steven Souza of Tampa Bay Rays fame. It makes me crazy. This is the best team you've ever seen in your life. That's all. I don't know who beats them. Not the freaking Giants. If they do, I'll eat my words, but I don't know. All right. Do you have a family fiasco? We got to stop talking about baseball, but I'm really excited to watch playoff games. I have to be honest.
So I have an Ivy. 4-0 Rays. Nice. I have an Ivy update, and I can't remember what I shared last time that we did a podcast, since we did it twice and hardly posted it anyways. Since no one actually listened to it, we're going to repeat some stuff. So she has graduated from her kennel strictly because she won't stay in the kennel. So she just climbs right over it. So I've now locked them in a room in the basement during the day and spoke to my dogs. The other day, she tried to hurdle the cage that was in front of the door, because I don't actually have a door on this doorway. So there's a pallet going across, and then against that, I put her cage. She tried to hurdle the cage. She got over it, got stuck in there, fell over, and the cage fell on top of her. So she's just stuck under this cage. Don't know how long. Probably hours. She's eaten both my cameras that I had down there, so I can't even watch her anymore. She's eaten every single charger in the house, including extension cords connected to that charger. And not just a little bite into it where she gets electrocuted, because I'm sure she does. They're in pieces that are this big, not even half an inch, shredded. She's fallen in the river twice. She can now open the screen and glass doors, even if they're latched. She just pops up, hits the handle. Free dog. Met me at my truck in the front yard today. She ate the blinds in the basement. This week, she's eaten 2 whole wheels of cheese that she just got off the counter.
It's like Anchorman.
Just whole things of cheese. And today she ate sour cream. So if anyone wants a dog, it's available. She's on waivers currently.
All right. My kids have been wild lately, and I haven't gotten to see them nearly as much as I want because I've been so busy. But trying to think, I feel like I have some good stories, and I can't remember them at this current moment. Ben is climbing on everything. The other day, I came out to the pantry. I don't know if I can show it here. It's not too much of a mess. A little bit out here. Here's our pantry. It's got shelves in it with food, and he was this dude just turned 1. He's climbing up the pantry and was on the second level, like hanging on for dear life. He gets on the rocking chair in the living room because there's light switches above it and rocks back and forth and hits the lights. And he climbs, there's a little picnic table out on our porch, and he just climbs up on there and climbs down and up and down. So basically, he's Kyle. I actually asked our dad yesterday, what did they do once Kyle started climbing on everything? Because that's what Kyle did. He was up in the cupboards, all kinds of crazy stuff. I found him on top of the fridge one time. That's a whole different story.
At least I didn't climb up on the cabinet and just take a shower in cinnamon while I was in nothing.
Yeah, that was me. That's true. But he's pretty wild right now. And Kate has a new thing because she never wants to talk to people unless it's on her terms, where she's very polite about it. But I'll ask her if she wants to say hi to someone who's right there, and she'll say, "No, thank you," which is like, I don't even know what you do with that. So anyhow, Micah started soccer tonight, so she was very excited about that. And that's not really much of a fiasco, but trying to think, I felt like I had a really good story and I can't remember it, so I'll try to remember it for next week. But the girls do like to just run around the house naked for no good reason, so I don't know what's happening around here really. This is out of control. No, the kids are running the whole house. So all right,
you just running the asylum.
No, they really are. Have you watched anything recently you would recommend to us?
All right, so I got show and movie, and we're still watching X-Files. So we're now on season 7. Which there's like 20 episodes in each season, so and they're 45 minutes each. So my entire life has just become X-Files. I did watch 2 movies recently. So my favorite cave movie of all time, and I love spelunking movies and like cave diving movies, and I would never do it myself because I'm super claustrophobic, but it's fun to watch. The Descent is my favorite cave movie of all time, and it's pretty intense. So if you don't like scary movies, I would not advise it. But I watched 2 as I was trying to like scratch the itch. Watched Sanctum, which was actually pretty good. I think it's a true story. It's a James Cameron movie. They dive into this big opening in the ground that leads to these underwater tunnels, and then they get rained in and they have to dive out. Everybody dies is the moral of that story. But it's really interesting.
Alert. Jeez.
Not everyone, but anyways, that's a good movie. And the second one I tried to watch that I was hoping would be as good as that one was not. It's called The Cave, and it's terrible, and don't watch it.
Okay. Well, that's a good recommendation. Sometimes it's something not to watch. All right. I mentioned this, but I really love Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. We have one more episode of that, I think. And we have started rewatching Community, which I loved when we used to watch it, and Emily did not. But she suggested it, and we have been loving it. It's hilarious. It's a very quirky show, but it's interesting to see what's happened to some of the characters from that show who went on to become pretty famous. You have Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, Alison Brie, who ended up on Mad Men after that show, and then of course Chevy Chase was already famous, and Joel McHale, and then plus Ken Jeong is on it as a professor who is insane, and some various others. So I really love it. It's my kind of quirky, and and I don't know if I mentioned last time, Mythic Quest. I love that show on Apple TV. It's about video game developers. You should watch that. And what movie did I watch the other day? I can't remember. I got no memory right now. I'm out of energy. So riveting stuff here. We both picked the Dodgers to win the World Series. And right now, gun to your head, Super Bowl matchup. Go. It's our last thing we're going to do.
I'm still going Rams, and I'm gonna go Bills.
That's a pretty good pick. My original pick was Rams Browns. I don't see a world in which Baker Mayfield takes the Browns to the Super Bowl, so I'll back off that one. And you know who I'm going with? The Chargers.
Ooh. Ooh,
Give me the Chargers.
Herbert.
Herbert, my guy. That would make me some nice change if he did that. And I'm gonna go Chargers. And I know this sounds insane. Packers. I actually think they're going to keep getting better and better. They're going to get some offensive linemen back, and I think the defense will get better as the year goes on. And I think Rodgers is just going to be like, there you go, you jerks. I'm out of here.
You think he retires if he wins Super Bowl this year?
I think he's going to do like a Dave Chappelle thing. He's going to leave and go somewhere ridiculous for a year.
Just show up in the AFL or something?
Yeah, I mean, he's already got the hair to like go somewhere else and just look like an idiot somewhere else. So, I mean, like go to Europe and like just spend a year in Amsterdam and then come back.
He looks like he should go be on bump fights.
His hair is a national disgrace. It is bad. And as someone who looks pretty rough tonight, I didn't get to shower yet. Even it's unbelievable. It looks worse and worse every week. It's really bad. So anyhow, all right, we can go. We've been on a while. Good to see you though. Been a long time. We're gonna try to. Joel and Brandon, if you're still listening, we'd love to have you on the next couple of weeks to talk football.
Yeah, we need some actual analysis in our
lives. Not just some idiots. I mean, that's what you're all used to, but maybe some people with know more than us, which is, we could pull anybody off the street probably, but we'll call our friends instead. All right. Talk to you.
All right. See you.